video is sponsored by supply handlers. Forget Lamine Yamal, Endrick and Désiré Doué, everyone knows this is their first World Cup because they were too young to be at the last one anyway. And even forget Haaland, Ødegaard, Isak and Gyökeres. A lot has been said about them carrying their nations to their World Cup for the first time in some years, so we're sure you knew that they too are making their World Cup debuts this year. Today though, we're going to be telling you about the ones that you might find it a little hard to believe. These are 10 players you won't believe are making their World Cup debuts this year.
Hey fam, this is your chance to build the jersey collection you've been waiting for. The Goal 90 bundle deal is live. Buy 2 jerseys and get 10% off. Buy 3 and get 15% off. Buy 4 and get a massive 25% off. Club kits, country kits, retro classics, pick your favourites and save big. And yes, every order comes with free worldwide shipping. The deal runs only until the end of May. Goal 90 bundle deal. Buy more, save more. Shop now at Goal 90 Shop.
We'll start with Gabriel Magalhães. He's 28, he's been one of the best defenders in the world for some years, plays for Arsenal, and he's from Brazil, a nation that always qualifies for the World Cup. It just makes sense that he has previously been at least one World Cup. But the truth? He actually hasn't. Despite being in the middle of a really good season for Arsenal by the time the last World Cup came around, he was totally ignored by the Brazil coach. In fact, guess what? At that time, he had never even played a single game for the Brazil first team. His national team debut only came in 2023, when he was almost 26. So this is his first ever World Cup and he's going as one of the main men. In fact, it'll be the first major tournament he'll be a real part of. Coming into this World Cup, he had only played 3 minutes of football in a major international tournament, and that came at the 2024 Copa America. Guess you could say that Gabriel has only started to receive his flowers from the Brazil staff and supporters. Anyway, another Premier League defender who is at his first World Cup this year is Andy Robertson. Dude is already a legend. He has played in 3 Champions League finals, won 2 Premier League titles, and has established himself as one of the greatest left-backs in Premier League history, but up till now, he had never had a taste of the World Cup. It sounds a bit strange, doesn't it? But it's really simple. The 32-year-old defender hails from Scotland, who have only just qualified for their first World Cup in 28 years, so he really did not have any previous opportunities to go to the World Cup. But well, in his debut tournament, he's going as captain. What a privilege. And that's not even all for Premier League fullbacks. Did you know that Reece James is also just making his World Cup debut? 4 years ago, he was already a top player. He had won the Champions League with Chelsea and was regarded as one of the best right-backs in the world. And well, you would think that Gareth Southgate would have taken him to Qatar for that reason, but he was out with a knee injury, so he couldn't go. Well, this time around, he is fit enough to go and make his World Cup debut at the age of 26. Now, there's an England international who's older than James and plays for a big club who is also making his World Cup debut this year. Do you know who that player is? Take a guess in the comments, we'll see if you're right soon. While you're there, if you aren't yet subscribed to the channel, go do that right away so you never miss out on our amazing content. Done? Okay, back to the video. Let's now talk about Luis Diaz. The 29-year-old Bayern man is one of the best wingers in the world and has been playing for a top European club for 7 years now. But while he has played 14 Copa America games, this is his first ever taste of World Cup football. It sounds quite shocking, but the formula is actually quite simple. The last time Colombia were at the World Cup was in 2018, and back then, Luis Diaz had not made his Colombia first team debut just yet. He, however, had his debut later that year after the completion of the World Cup in Russia, but he wasn't able to help them qualify for the 2022 World Cup. Well, this time, he helped them get there and will now be playing his first World Cup game at the age of 29. And he's not even the only Bayern Munich player making his World Cup debut this year. Jonathan Tah is as well. He is now regarded as one of the best centre-backs in the world, but he didn't always have that tag, you know. Although he made his Germany senior team debut in 2016 at the age of 20, he has had to wait 10 full years to get his first taste of the World Cup. And of course, this wasn't about his nation not qualifying, as Germany never missed any of those tournaments. They just always had better players ahead of him. Despite playing for Bayer Leverkusen, Tah wasn't considered for the 2018 and 2022 World Cups, but he started to establish himself as one of the best defenders in the world under Xabi Alonso's tenure at Bayer Leverkusen, and that, along with his move to Bayern last year, has finally earned him a call-up to the World Cup at the age of 30. Another top player in his 30s who's making his World Cup debut this year is David Alaba. We're talking about a 4-time Champions League winner and a 12-time league winner who had never played in the World Cup before. Crazy. I mean, This guy has won the Club World Cup 3 times, but had never played a single World Cup game before this year. And it's simple, this is Austria's first World Cup in 28 years, so this is literally Alaba's first chance to be on this stage. He had tried and tried, but he was never able to make it there until this year. He'll now be playing his first World Cup game at the age of 33. So this might actually be a first and last World Cup for the former Real Madrid man. Another top defender who's making his World Cup debut this year is Marc Cucurella. He is up there as one of the best defenders in the world and is being chased by the biggest clubs on the planet right now. But prior to this year, he had never been in a World Cup squad. He made his Spain senior team debut in 2021, so you would have expected him to be in the 2022 World Cup squad. But Luis Enrique didn't call him up, despite the fact that he was already playing for a top club at the time. In fact, he did not make his second appearance for the Spain senior team until 2024. But since then, he's been a regular for the first team. He only got his first taste of the Euros 2 years ago when he won it with Spain, and he's getting his first taste of World Cup football this year. Now, remember we said that there's another England player older than Reece James on this list? That guy is Eberechi Eze. He only made his England senior team debut in 2023, so he wasn't even considered for the last World Cup, even though he was already a top Premier League baller at the time. The Arsenal man will be turning 28 at his first ever World Cup tournament, which is quite an age to be making your World Cup debut. But hey, better late than never, innit? And you could also say that for Franck Kessié. He is one of those players you just think must have played at the World Cup before. He turns 30 this year and has played for top clubs like Atalanta, AC Milan and Barcelona. And you know why this one is especially crazy? Kessié made his Côte d'Ivoire first team debut back in September 2014 at the age of 17. Since then, he has gone on to represent the Elephants at 5 AFCON tournaments and even led them to victory at the 2023 edition. But until this year, he had never been to the World Cup. And the reason is simple. This might come as a surprise to many, but this is Côte d'Ivoire's first World Cup in 12 years. The last time they were here was in 2014, and back then, the 17-year-old Kessié was yet to make his national team debut. Anyway, he now finds himself in that exclusive group of players who make their World Cup debut as captains. You know who else will be doing that this year? Hakan Çalhanoğlu. This is another guy who's playing his first ever World Cup in his 30s. He is 32 years old and has been playing for the Turkey first team for 13 years now, but this is his first time being on the biggest stage. Çalhanoğlu has been to 3 Euros and even captained Turkey at the last one, but this is their first World Cup in 24 years, so he had not previously had a chance to play at the World Cup until this year. Now, there are more players you might be surprised to find out are just making their World Cup debuts this year. Guys like Tomáš Souček, Ivan Toney and Omar Marmoush. Feel free to keep the list going in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on the bell notification so you never miss out on new content. Catch you in the next one. Bye.